I've heard the Mermaids singing in a state of some ignorance and innocence and deliberate ignorance. In fact, I would say I was very, very keen not to, imitate other movies. I wanted it to have its own voice, its own style. And I felt like so many movies were, efficient vehicles of expected messages. And I knew that, I was not, a standard, general issue type of human. I was queer, I was female in the film business, which was much, much more rare at the time. I was 27. And it was 1987, so some time ago, 35 years ago, my friends. So I wanted it to have its own voice, and I didn't really expect a giant audience for it. But I just was very, very moved by the combination of narrative with music, with a voice that was uncompromised by the system, by the business. It wasn't even a career then. It was let's try this. I love all the parts. Wouldn't that be amazing if I could make something that held together? And I love writing stories. I always loved telling stories and writing stories. So I just thought I'll put it all together, and if people like it, great. If they don't like it, there'll still be this thing there. I'll have made this thing and it'll exist, and there's nothing like that outside. And I wasn't seeing what I wanted to see. Everything that had anything lesbian or queer in it all had a feeling of a bit of tragedy or a cautionary tale, I just wanted to do something that was, put queerness in the context of a bigger life as well. It's not, it's not, here's the story, human woman feels attraction for human woman. Will she be able to have this attraction fulfilled, and will they be able to be human lesbians together? That felt like a diminishment of my experience. And so I wanted to, make it about many more things as well, because I think one's sexuality, one's orientation is one of many things. I'm many, many things, and I'm not only those things, but it felt like at the time I wanted to embed it into a larger life, into other questions of art making and confidence and authority in art and subjectivity. The time was really kind of exciting in Toronto because there was Atta McGoyan was a friend, and another one, I don't know if you know, Don McKellar and Bruce McDonald, and of course, but we had a great tradition of writers in our country with Margaret Atwood and Alice Munro, Michael Ondaatje, and there was a sort of Anne-Marie MacDonald. She hadn't started writing yet, but she's one of our greats, I believe. So I feel like there was a new energy, and there was new money, actually, to be perfectly frank. There was new money. We had always been the documentary country, and the Americans did the fiction, and then there was a sudden new emphasis on doing fiction films. So, and I just happened to be someone standing at the door with my hand out with this idea called I've Heard the Mermaids Singing. And so I got some money to do it, and lo and behold, the Cannes Film Festival, I saw an application, I dared to fill it out without telling anybody else. But my producer, Alex Raffa, and I thought, okay, no one needs to know, we'll just, we'll just fill this out, and lo and behold, we get a call and have to send it there, and off we go. And it was extraordinary event. Here we were, like, stunned. Sheila was there, Alex was the producer, and myself, and we thought we were, of course, imposter syndrome. We laughed most of the time. Sheila and I, my French was absolutely terrible. It's not much better now, but my French was absolutely terrible. And we kept saying, quel fromage, because everything was more, which means what cheese, which is all we could think of saying. A man named Pierre-Henri Delot saw it and called and said, we would like to program this. And then suddenly we had this giant challenge to get our 16 mil film blown up to 35 because it couldn't be shown in Canada unless we had to come up with $50,000 or something to be able to blow it up, and no one was going to give it to us. And anyway, a good man, Jan Rofkamp, came to the fore and gave us the money so we could, and then suddenly sold it to 40 countries in Canada. It was extraordinary. People sending champagne over, standing ovations. It was really, it was so moving for me, so moving. I felt like I was this weird, completely alone outsider, and I was just drawing a little sketch and humming along, and that was my movie. And then suddenly I'm on, at the biggest film festival in the world, on the world stage, and people are laughing and people are crying. It was stunning. It was a stunning, stunning moment, which I will cherish my whole life. To be to have your heart welcomed into the hearts of others, really, I guess that's not too big a way of saying it, is a stunning moment in anyone's life. I make 3 characters, and they are each one side of me. They are, the curator is partly sort of my more critical mind. The Polly is my sort of more innocent, insecure, but maybe a bit oblivious mind, and Mary Joseph, the Anne-Marie MacDonald character, is kind of the more the artist who's afraid of having to present themselves and just wants to make things, confident in their own orientation and sexuality. And I put them all in opposition to each other as a strategy for creating authentic dialogue and making sure that I took each voice seriously. Like if they are each part of me, then they are in conflict as they were. The conflict was, oh gosh, I've seen movies, I've heard music, I've seen art that is of such profound impact for me. What if I can't make it? I want it more than anything. What if I can't? Should I do it anyway? Should I just trick and finagle and force my way in or something so that I can still do it? Should I take the naysayers seriously? They don't get me as just the fact of being a woman, which was much more rare. You have to understand in that day, a female filmmaker was few and far between, and lesbian to boot, and then coming from a Dutch Calvinist, background. And I also had this idea that I should always look kind of dark and super thin and really kind of anguished and smoking and hunched over. And I just had an image that I didn't fit. Like the artist, I didn't fit my own image of what a real, I wanted to be Susan Sontag actually, or and I didn't look like that. So anyway, so I thought, just make the thing that you want to see, trust the voices, trust that somehow the debate inside yourself is a worthy one, and have fun. And I can't help but do. I never thought of it as comedy actually. And when it ended up in those days, you had, your VHS or your DVD ended up in the comedy section. That kind of surprised me. I always thought of it was going to be sort of, gently amusing, thoughtful, magic realist piece. But anyway, Sheila McCarthy was, gold. I auditioned for a long time, a lot of people. And when she came in, my memory is that I thought, oh my God, you are perfect. You are perfect. Her memory is that I made her audition for 5 hours or something horrible. And that she was about to get fed up and walk out if I didn't give it to her right away. And then in the room, I gave it to her. We have remained friends. Actually, see a movie called Women Talking by the astounding filmmaker Sarah Polley. I have hopes, and I don't think they're unrealistic, that this film will be getting some attention come Oscar time. Sheila McCarthy plays a very old woman, and she does so beautifully. The whole film is extraordinary piece of, it's so specific to a place and time, and then leaps with incredible confidence and presence into a kind of almost transcendent embodiment of the most important discussion right now. I'm not going to say more, but see Women Talking by Sarah Polley if you can. Sheila and I just dared to have fun all the way through. She had a fantastic sense of humor. We made each other laugh all the time. Like almost immediately, I could say things like, "Okay, cut. Sheila, can you just like act better?" And she would laugh. Doug Coe shot it. He had a great sense of humor and visual humor, I thought, and that's not given to everyone. Yeah, everything was play. You know, like you'll notice when she goes to the curator's birthday party and she's carrying this absurdly large box. She just does everything wrong. Embarrassment is a lovely thing to play on. And I may be going on too long. Maybe you don't want this long. Film touches on many different aspects of art, yes, and embarrassment. I find embarrassment one of the most, and awkwardness, one of the most sort of fruitful realms of human experience. Like when we're embarrassed, we actually change color. We our palm, like liquid comes out of our palms, and it is a profound force for us, and it's very difficult sometimes to watch and healing to see in others, because I think we all live with such a desperate grasp on our own dignity, and when we feel it slipping away, we feel like ourselves are slipping away. So I think I just stumbled on that as a state of being to explore, and I think that is part of what people responded to with this movie. Oh, it's my firstborn. It's my friend. It still makes me laugh. I cherish the freedom I had in it, and when I didn't expect anything or hope for anything, it was a lovely state of being to make art in, because I find it's intimate. It's you're looking in eyes. That's looking in eyes, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. I hope you find it worth your time, and if you can, share it with your friends. And thank you very much for listening. And I send you great goodwill to Taiwan, and I send your festival goodwill. And if any of you are out there on the brink of making movies, get as much, do all the homework, and then listen to yourself and work and do the homework and do the homework and do the homework, and then play. That's my advice to you. Thank you and goodbye.